What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Another little quick battle comparison, maybe not quick, showdown video for you. Might be a few minutes long, I don't know, we'll see how it turns out. I don't try to make them long, I just try to be as inclusive and comprehensive as I can, although I do miss some stuff. Please let me know down in the comments your opinion on these two versus each other. I thought it would be pretty good just because mainly the locking mechanism. There are similar other locking mechanisms out there for sure. Cold Steel's got one of them called the Engage that I don't have on the table. Never experienced that one, but I just thought it'd be a pretty cool little showdown. Not necessarily between the two knives, although I'll go over the ups and downs of each and comparatively. But just between the locking systems, I think I thought that would be a pretty kind of a comparison video. Not necessarily how strong each of them are. I'll talk a little bit about each of them in my understanding. But yeah, I thought it'd be pretty neat. They do actuate and deploy and undeploy, retract back in fairly similarly, and there's a lot. Other than that, there's not really that many similarities between these two. I don't find, but let's go through them. In this corner, I don't know, how should I do a showdown video? I guess this is the Demko Knives AD20.5. This is the slicer variant with the shark lock designed by Andrew Demko. This is a Taiwanese made version right there, made in Taiwan in 20 CV. And Ultim got thought pretty good deal on that one, man. I got paid, I think it was about 110. Usually they go for a good bit more than that now, but got that one on sale. And this one, complete Chinese made Civivi Vision FG, and you can see right there I have disassembled it, right? You know what you're looking at. That Civivi, that C is supposed to be the other way, so that's one thing that I should probably take care of in the not too distant future. Might do it in this video. We'll see how it goes. Let's see how quick I can get through everything else. Designed by Snex. That is the super lock on this one. So pull back, flick it forward, and it closes, right? So if I pull that back, it doesn't close necessarily. Not this one anyway. Gotta give it just a little bit of wrist, not much at all. Both locks keep your fingers out of the blade path whenever you are retracting the blade. So that's, to me, was a pretty cool similarity between the two, I guess. So we'll go ahead and let's do some size comparisons, I guess. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do measurements, do it like a normal kind of very quick like review, I guess. Review both of these knives. Overall length, the Vision FG, you're looking at 8 inches. Blade length 3 5/8, cutting edge 3 1/4. All right, so cutting edge on the Demko, 3 inches on the slicer variant. Overall length, you're looking at 7 5/8, and overall blade length, you're looking at 3 1/4. So everything a little bit smaller on the AD20.5 slicer. Now the American-made Demko, the AD20, that one is larger, I'm almost positive, than the Vision FG. I've never handled an AD20. That is definitely on my knives to get list for sure, but it's got the same shark lock as AD20.5. The AD20.5 is essentially a more production version of the AD20. These are made in Taiwan by Demko, but in Taiwan. The AD20s are made in the USA and are much more smaller batch USA made knives. All right, so Vision FG, if I can keep from banging the camera around too much there. The Vision FG, I would say, takes the cake as far as, overall, if you're looking for overall cutting edge, that's your determining factor between these two, and it comes down to that. The Vision FG would win in that instance, I think, but not by too much, So let's see, what other categories can we compare? I can do weight right off the bat. Now, the weight does differ a little bit with the Demko and with the Civivi based on what you get. Now with the Demko, this one's an Ultim. If you got G10, it might be a little different. If you got titanium, it'd definitely be different. And of course, the Demkos come in shark's foot blade shapes, like a sheep's foot. Their take on a sheep's foot blade shape. and also clip point, I believe, and this is a slicer variant. Correct me again if I'm wrong down in the comments. Definitely am not above being corrected for sure. I appreciate it. Actually, 3.3 ounces on the 20.5 slicer and Ultim, 4.4 ounces on that one, right, on the Civivi Vision FG. So a little over an ounce difference right there. So the 20.5 slicer, as far as that aspect goes, you know, weight, definitely would win. And in my opinion, let me get out the old blue jeans here. I told you this one's going to be a little different. I'm not using the same sort of the same format, but not the same exact you know, sequence, I guess, as I normally use on like an overview review video. But Vision FG, that is a standard deep carry. You can see it kind of catching on the screws. That's another thing there. It is deeper carry, right? That is a standard Civivi pocket clip. I prefer this one, even though it's not as deep of carry, just because it goes in and out of the pocket a lot easier, or a little bit easier in and out of the pocket. But the main thing is that sticks up. That little tab right there is very snaggy. You can see that right there. Let's get this one out. All right, so that's kind of a lower profile on the pocket clip, the part where your jeans meet up with. That tends to grab things a lot more, I guess, is kind of the short version of what I'm trying to say. That one definitely tends to grab things a lot more. Just the fact that it sticks up like that, that'll definitely grab some stuff. I've had it happen a couple of times for sure. So let's see, we'll do some quick size comparisons. What else we got laying around? Let's do a pair of Taiwanese made knives. Why not? This is the Ontario Knife Company Rat Model 1. I guess would be a size comparison right there. So gonna give you a good size if you know what or a good idea of how big they are and the differences. If you know the size of the Rat 1, that's the Rat Model 2 right there. All right. And let's see, let's do an American made knife, right? That's a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Overall, it's longer than both of them, actually. The Vision FG still a little bit shy of the overall length of the Paramilitary 2. And here is your Spyderco pair of 3. All right. So pair of 3 a little bit shorter. And another handy lock, by the way, that is the compression lock. One of my favorite locks, probably my favorite lock, I'd have to say, that I've experienced so far in the knife world. There's a North Arm Sky High in between the two. All right. And it's a Hinder XM18 between the two. And what else we got? Indiana Knives EDZ. Why not? That one's on loan to me from Fred the Lug. Really appreciate that, Fred. Pretty cool knife there, by the way. All right, so give you a good idea of the size anyway on these two. As far as the strength of the locks go, I know the Shark lock is really strong. Demko himself said it was as strong or stronger than the Triad lock, which is the one that is on the AD10. This one, 3-point contact on that kind of a lock bar style lock, but a lot more contact points on there to make it much more of a hard use knife. So this is, and I have heard of some testing videos on the Shark lock that went over pretty well. The Snake Super Lock, I have seen that one fail actually a few times on the Chupacabra, on the Tactile Maverick one. Never had an issue with it failing on here, and I've seen multiple spine whack tests. I guess you could, I've never had an issue with it failing. But essentially the way this one works, because I haven't disassembled this one before, but I have disassembled this one, obviously. That's got a little spring that holds it back. Whenever you pull that tab right there, that slowly goes shut, and that slides up a little bit into place. Whenever you break the detent right there, all right, slides back, or opens up, that engages into place. So you've essentially, on both of them, you have a spring driving something that's at the base of the tang of the blade right there above where the pivot's at, where the pivot hole's at anyway, and essentially shoving something in there via a spring-loaded contraption, right? So the Snex Super Lock, to me, on this one, on the Civivi Vision FG, not I haven't tried it on the cheaper cop or any other knife. To my understanding, and another difference I guess we could talk about is the Shark Lock is really a proprietary name, right? Don't they have that patented? I'm pretty sure it's patented. The Demko Shark Lock. The Snex Super Lock, I don't think is copyrighted, patented. So I don't think. I think it's kind of like open, kind of like an open source. This is designed by Snex, by the way, in case you can't tell by those gigantic letters in white on there. But yeah, that's essentially what you're looking like in there. Now, a big difference to me, whenever the highlight of these two knives, in my opinion, is the deactuation of them, right? Whenever you've got it open, you know, you take it out of your pocket, flip it open, you cut, do whatever you got to do, and then you go to retract it, right? You move your hand a little bit, put your index there, and it goes shut. Same thing with the AD20.5 with the Shark Lock. Do your cutting, do whatever, move your hand out the way, kind of go into almost a pinch, you know, type of grip on the handle right there. Put your index there, slide it back, and it goes shut. But one of the bigger differences, and I don't know if it's spring tension, not sure what it is, on the AD20.5, is you don't really have to give it any wrist. If you're holding it straight up like this and you pull it back, it probably won't shut. But if there's any kind of angle to it, if you're just holding it, you know, normally sideways, I guess, or even pointing down, especially, whenever you pull this back, that blade shuts. I don't know if it is the strength of the spring in there or what it is, but that is one of the main differences. Now that will go down, right? But you don't have to force it down like that or anything, but you still got to give it a little shake, a little more of a shake, a little bit more wrist or whatever. Another thing on this one, since we're doing showdown battle videos, this is a little more sharp than the Shark Lock. Now, not really, it's a little more broad, not quite as contoured, I guess you could say, as that is. See, that's got that micro jimp in there, and a flat at an angle a little bit. I guess that's what helps. That's pointed straight up at that 90-degree larger jimping, not really, maybe a little jump right there, but if I'm actuating these two, or if I am closing these two 100 times, I would definitely 100% rather the Shark Lock on the AD20.5 to do that 100 times than I would to deactuate the Super Lock 100 times. That will definitely give you a sore finger if you did that 100 times. Now, each of them 10 times, I mean, it's still more pleasant, and it's still a little more comfortable to retract the lock, to close the lock on the 20.5, but not really as big of a deal, right? So it's not like if you open it, do your cutting or whatever. There we go again, hitting the camera, man. I'm getting crazy with it today. When you retract it, it's not like, you know, a couple of times or whatever is gonna kill your finger. Now, this is just my experience. Maybe I've got a different knife, you know, maybe mine's a little different than some people's, I don't know, but maybe a lot of you experience the same thing. I don't let me know that too in the comments for sure. But I would tend to want to deploy and retract and fidget with the AD20.5 a lot more so than I would the Vision FG. So that's just kind of my take on it. Now, they're both strong locks in my opinion. They both work really well, and they're both very, very fidgety. Now, one of the main differences between these two, and I don't think these have any models in this, is these speed holes that they give you in the handle. If that's a deal breaker, then that's a deal breaker. Some people don't like the speed holes. I'm kind of indifferent to them. Like, I'm not gonna not buy a knife just because it's got speed holes in it. But also, if given the choice between no holes in the handle and holes in the handle, I would pick no holes in the handle. That's just me. Now, they do make aftermarket scales for each one of these, all kinds of stuff, G10, aluminum, titanium, you name it. So they do have aftermarket options available, and they do have stock options available too. Another big difference between these two in particular, this is CPM 20CV, this is Nitro V. A lot better steel there in the 20CV, which is essentially M390, but from Crucible. The Nitro V, not a bad steel. It's not terrible. It's not 3CR or anything like that. But you know, I mean, I would even prefer 154CM or 14C28N in my opinion over the Nitro V. Now, for the price point, this one goes for around $70. For the price point, yeah, it's definitely better. This one, you can get them in a few different options. I think I saw them earlier on BladeHQ for $89.99 for the Ultimate version of this, but still had Nitro V. So you can definitely upgrade your options. Not to mention Knives, the parent company of Civivi, makes the Vision R, which is the original one, the more premium one, and that one's got all kinds of different combinations and handle materials on it. I believe they come in titanium and 20CV, if I'm not mistaken. Might be wrong about that, but yeah, so definitely a big price gap between the two. Now, this one, as is, this is one from DLT. Like I said, I got it. I think I paid $115. I think that was the price on this one. 20CV, AD20.5, and they sold out really quick at that price. Now, you can find these for $110, $115 or so right now, brand new, but you'll be looking at either an AUS 8 or a D2 version. The 20CVs go for a little higher, and they do have all kinds of price brackets on this one too. You can pay up to like 300 and something bucks for a full titanium one, you know, and in 20CV M390. I think they actually come in 3V. They come in a good variety of different blade steels. This one, not so much. You got that premium 20CV one that comes from Knives. You've got the Nitro V, which is standard amongst your Civivi Vision FGs, and I believe Knife Center did a kind of an in-between type of thing, whereas around 130, 135 bucks you could get one with a little more premium of a handle, and also in S35VN, which is a perfectly acceptable steel for that price point, I think. So, all in all, between the two, which one would I prefer? And I would have to take the 20.5. I think the 20.5 is way better. I like the way it feels ergonomically better. Now, this one does feel nice ergonomically. You got that forward choil on this one too. No jimping up top, but not really super sharp or aggressive up there, and pretty locked in whenever you're choked up like that. So definitely not an uncomfortable knife, but the ergonomics on the 20.5 are just that much better, I think. You got the jimping all the way up here, that forward kind of choil right there. It doesn't go into the blade, but that little area it gives you to put your finger, that works perfect. That is locked in, dead perfect ergonomics in my opinion. So yeah, also these are made in Taiwan, these are made in China. I don't know if that makes a difference when purchasing, you know, something around that price bracket to anyone, but that is definitely something that I felt like I should put out there for sure. If anybody cares about that at all, let me know what you guys think. Which one do you prefer? Do you like the Civivi Vision FG or the Demko AD20.5 better? And tell me why. You know, I mean, is it just because the Vision FG is cheaper that you like it better? Is it just because these are made in Taiwan, or you know, better steels that you like this one better? I would love to hear about your opinion on it for sure. And that's pretty much it, guys. Not a typical Showdown video, not a typical video at all, but I kind of just wanted to kind of showcase the differences between those two, because I've always thought since they came out, you know, that that's a pretty neat. So all right, well, hope you guys enjoyed the video, Showdown comparison battle, whatever video, and hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you on the next one. Y'all stay sharp.